Hello, everyone. We are back. We just wrapped the script writers roundtable. They are all back there doing some picture signing and answering some last questions, but it was a super insightful roundtable. My name is Chloé Malaisé. I am hosting this podcast, which is presented by State Farm Yucca Valley. Thank you so much, Marianne Fenley. This is the fifth annual Yucca Valley Film Festival, and we've been having a blast since Friday. Saturday was an action-filled day, and today was so exciting at 1 p.m. with the piano demonstration. Now 2 o'clock with the scriptwriters roundtable that we just finished. At 3:15, we have screenings of music videos and visual arts, experimentation film. 6 p.m. red carpet. 7 p.m. harp performance by Adami that will kick off the final ceremony. So it's been a really, really, really exciting weekend. And without further ado, I want to jump to my next interview, which is with Mr. Paul Hollingsworth. Hello, Paul.
Hey,
How you
hey.
doing?
Great. Chloe,
Welcome
how
to
are you?
Yucca Valley.
Thank you. I love it here.
I do too. It's my first time.
Yeah, me too.
Where are you originally from?
Canada, but then I've been in LA for 20 years.
Okay, and see, we're not that far.
Yeah.
We're not that far from Yucca Valley, but it's your first time here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
but
desert,
I
it's
drove
beautiful.
out here. I was like, and it's so close. So I'm
Yeah.
definitely
Welcome
planning on.
back, too.
Yeah, same. So I'm super excited. So what do you have in competition?
I got Weirdos, which has been a passionate project of mine for 4.5 years.
As in, like, you started from inception.
I started writing it 4.5 years ago.
Okay.
And this is it started as a pilot, and then it became a feature film, and then I got tired of waiting for permission and waiting for somebody to give me like $7 million to make this thing. So I'm like, you know what? We can make like 5 minutes. Like I run a Digital Wizard Studios. So I run a stop motion animation studio.
Ooh.
And most of the time we're doing toy commercials for Warner Brothers, Lego, things like Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Batman. Anytime there's like a superhero action figure,
Okay.
we're doing the toy commercial for it.
Interesting. So this is interesting because this went from a pilot to a feature to a short.
Yeah.
So how did it go first from a pilot? Because I could see and we've seen it here with other people going from having a feature, bringing it down to a short. But a pilot, which is a TV format, to a feature is completely different. Where did that transition take place?
Stories just got bigger and smaller. It just everything was scalable. And just sometimes it felt like the story would be a little bit more of a monster of the week kind of show.
Okay.
Similar to like Scooby-Doo, where there's or Pokemon, where it's like they catch a new monster every week. And then eventually I was like, oh, maybe it's feature. And then now it is short film because I could actually make that.
Yeah.
This is stop motion animation.
Oh, it's animation. Oh, cool.
Yeah, so everything is handmade and it's stop motion. So it's like the puppets. Like of that 4 years, 2 years were spent building puppets. And the first puppets were terrible. I relied on a lot of favors, but we made a lot of concessions because of money or because of time or because of people donating their time. They just weren't right. And we went back after I think the fourth version of the puppets are what we have now.
Wow.
But every hand is hand carved, every head is sculpted. We have mouths that fit puzzle pieces that go into, so we can change and replace them. So in animation, if you wanted to have different mouths, you have one that's smiling, you have one that's open, you have different ones that are screaming or have their tongues hanging out.
And then with stop motion, is it like I have this little pen and then it moves, right? And then you make it like that. But is it like picture or is it video?
It's all pictures. So what we do
it's
is
a bunch of pictures.
There's an amazing software called Dragon Crane. And what it does is it hooks up their DSLR to your computer.
Okay.
And then you can see playback. Because as you take frames, you can go back, you can see how your movement's working, how your arcs are working out. You can follow along with the principles of animation. And you can really make it seem like you can just follow the flow of it really, really easily. So
for me, in my mind, because I've never done it, that feels like it would take a really long time. But in the world of animation, because I guess there's different styles of animation here, stop motion, and then just digital animation. Is stop motion considered something that takes longer, less time than digital? It's all kind of the same.
It's like saying like how big is a house, right?
Okay.
Like is it 3 stories high? Does it have like a bowling alley in it? Honestly, and all animation takes a long time because it's all artists. But it just depends on like where you put that artist time, right? For us, it was we built puppets. We had somebody sew little teeny tiny clothes for the puppets because they all have to have like individual clothes.
Oh my god.
And our seamstress, Holly Parker, she has like a degree in haberdashery.
Is that like
That's
wardrobe
making hats.
for? Oh, okay.
And then she knows how to do couture stitching. So it's very important that that all the clothing has really small stitches. Because if you saw it blown up on a screen and you saw like really big fat stitches, you know something is off. It looks messy, it looks sloppy. So that was part of like what took a long time to develop the puppets. So it took us 2 years to do the puppets, but when we actually started filming, like we filmed it in 4 weeks and then edited in 12.
Wow, but see, 4 weeks for me to shoot a short. How long is the short?
It's 5 minutes.
That feels like so. Now imagine a full hour and a half movie.
Well, in that time as well, like with the amount of projects we've done with Warner Brothers, my studio, Digital Wizards, it produces an hour and 20 minutes of content every year. So every year we could be producing a feature, but it happens that it is divided amongst, 15 Harry Potter projects, 10 like superhero projects, like 6 Batman projects. If we were to put all of that together, we would have made a feature film like every year for the last 3 years, plus our own project. And I write and direct on a lot of those other things, but I've been able to. The great thing about like having a my own studio is that we've been able to grow our team and like train a lot of our team members. So I have an animator who's been working with me for years, Sean Willits. This guy is such an amazing animator. Now I've been able to give him an opportunity to direct on some of these other projects.
Cool.
Or there's like Dan Pasto has also done really well. Ferran. These guys are amazing animators, and sometimes people don't really give them a chance.
Yeah.
But like they've proven themselves great at the studio, and then have been able to make some just beautiful animations.
How long have you had your company?
About 12 years. Started in the garage.
Your company?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Did you
it was
start
with my
like in
daughter.
another company, got the experience, and then you're like, I could do this myself, or like out of
It
school?
was,
You're like,
well, I did go to film school and I did learn stop motion. I taught myself stop motion from there. I worked at a couple of different stop motion studios and picked up a couple things. But really, like I started making like YouTube videos. And my wife was very supportive. She was like, you should just quit your job and make stop motion videos on YouTube. And my daughter helped me. We made Jurassic Park, Lego Jurassic Park. That thing went viral. I think it's got like 7 million views on it. We did Lego Ghostbusters. That's got like 24 million views on it. And my daughter is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Like she dressed up in a costume and she fights all the Lego guys. We have her green screen, and then we have the little Lego guys like shooting like their proton packs.
but then do you like?
Well, she's big, right? Because the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was massive.
Okay.
So it's like the little guys are little, and Haley's big. She was like 8 at the time.
I
So,
love that.
and then like our videos went viral. We started getting clients, and we've done just a number of awesome projects with great partners like Warner Brothers, Disney, Spin Master, Lego. Like we get to make. Honestly, Chloe, like if you told me when I was a kid I would be playing with toys and like making art my whole life and getting paid for it, I'd be like, you are on drugs. That is like not even a job. That's not anything. But it is,
Yeah.
that's the crazy thing. And that's why it was cool to do the puppet demonstration yesterday for all
Yeah.
the kids, because there's a lot of kids that like, maybe they don't like, not everyone's gonna be the director, not everyone's gonna be the writer or the camera
Totally.
person. But maybe, some of these kids are really good at like drawing or illustration.
Yeah.
They could be doing storyboards, or they could be concept art, or maybe they're good at sewing or sculpting or painting. They could be building sets, because there's so much art that goes into
Totally.
animation, right?
And it's not the kind of thing that we see like in school. What do you call that day when you have people that
Oh,
come?
career day.
Career day. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like it's
You
not
didn't have
like.
a stop motion animation studio
Oh,
come
we
see you
did
at career
not.
day.
No. So
Oh.
have you gone to schools?
We've done. We used to volunteer for Scouts. It was
Oh, that's
pre-pandemic.
great.
So we created a program for Scouts where we give them like a Mad Lib. So
Okay.
like each of the teams were kids were broken up into teams. They all filled out a Mad Lib. Everybody filmed. We broke it up into stages. They all filmed their own little story, and it all came together. We edited. By the end of the day, these kids saw their own story, their own movie, and like our crew from Digital Wizards all came out. Like our storyboard artists, Carissa came out. Sean was one of our animators. Rocky Borders, who was our VFX soup at the time. We all donated our time because like it's important to like get the next generation like jazzed and inspired.
Absolutely. And sometimes you just, you're in school, you're learning math, science, like you don't know this could be like a career. And I think when people see your energy and they're like, God, he looks like he's having fun. Like it's like I want to be able to do that.
Well, like sometimes math, like you don't understand like why you need it. Like you need a practical application for it. But if I was to tell you that like this puppet has to move from like here to here in like 120 frames or 15 frames or 16 frames, like how are you going to do it?
Totally.
Now all of a sudden you mathematically have to break it down. Or if you wanted to run a motion controller, which is like essentially a robot with a tripod head on it, so like a motion controller has like the camera on it, it can pan, tilt, dolly, like you're using X, Y, and Z axis. Like if they trained you how to use that in math class, people would love it.
Yeah, you get to like apply it.
Yeah.
Change the education system, but that's a whole other. That's a whole other chat. Well, Paul, thank you so much for coming out to Yucca Valley, for sharing your art. You're such an inspiration, in the field of entertainment. So it was such a pleasure.
We've had the best time here.
Yeah, it's been great.
And a great festival too.
Yeah, it's just like meeting really great filmmaker, great people.
Yeah.
So it's been a
his
blast.
team has been like working so hard,
non-stop around the clock. So
yeah,
thank you. I'm sure I will see you the rest of the day and for the closing ceremony.
Cool.
Thank you, Paul. Awesome, y'all. Well, yeah.
Can I shout out one more person?
Yes, please. Let me bring you on.
Oh, okay.
You're on.
Congratulations, Vinny, our editor. He and his wife just had a baby, little Lorenzo. And he's super healthy, and we couldn't be more thrilled. There's so many people on our team that work so hard. Vinny's one of them, and we're just so happy for him.
I love it. Well, congratulations, Vinny. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks.
Amazing. So I believe I have one more interview because we are about to start the experimental and dance film series. So don't go anywhere. And we've got one more chat. And I'm back. I'm going to jump right into our last interview before the experimental and dance films. I am joined now by Richard Brown. Richard, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm so good. It's been such a fun weekend. Are you from the area?
I am from Maryland.
Maryland. Wow, not from the area. How's experiencing Yucca Valley for you?
Oh, I think it's great. It's sort of, just being able to walk around. I've gotten a lot of steps in while I've been here, because I'm trying to get to that 20,000 step a day goal, and I've exceeded it and then some here. But really nice area, very picturesque. Everyone's very friendly. I'm having a great time.
I love it. So you have a script and competition, Arsenal of Doom. So tell us a little bit about that. What's it about, and where did the inspiration come from?
Well, the inspiration came from me growing up watching like Indiana Jones movies and also The Mummy and Star Wars. And it's about a army captain. It's set during World War II.
Okay.
And he is sent behind enemy lines to determine if the Germans are developing an armored flying. And he gets trapped behind enemy lines because his meeting with this Allied informant goes awry, and he gets into a bar fight, and he has to get back to Allied headquarters with this armor sample that he has. And the French resistance helps him, and he goes through a whole bunch of trials and tribulations, and the main villain of the movie will stop at nothing to get this armored wing developed and bring an end to the war in the Axis powers' favor.
Wow, that is very specific. Did you have to do a lot of research with World War II, with language, the kinds of things that you could expect to see physically? How was that preparation for the script?
Had to do a lot of research, and I studied World War II very extensively in high school and in college when I was first a history major.
Gotcha.
And,
look at that. Yeah.
And my father watched a lot of World War II documentaries when I was a kid, so I kind of watched them with him and, just getting that knowledge and then doing research into the period, some of the slang and also like the people that were not on either side, because there's a character that's a mercenary, and their motivations, and also the specific locations and, the technology. So there was a lot of work that had to go into it.
And in the language aspect, as far as like the way that they spoke, was that something you kind of had to like look into?
Yeah, and also because there's also part of the film that's in German, because there's scenes where like German officers are speaking, and so
how'd you go about that? It wasn't Google Translate.
No, I do use different translation software, and also, but like most of the script is also written in English too.
Yeah.
So
Did you have anybody like physical people that spoke German that were like, hey, because I asked a lot of times, I could tell when some people use Google Translate in another language, because I'm like, technically that's correct, but that's just not how we speak. So did you feel like you had to find somebody that spoke German for the little bit of German dialogue that you had to make sure it was?
I really don't know many people that speak fluent German. I wish I did at the time,
Yeah.
But I can't exactly remember the translation software I used, but I spoke to other people that knew some German, and they were able to kind of make sure it sounded authentic and real when doing these things.
Yeah, amazing. Is it the first script you've written?
I've been writing scripts since I was in college, but I didn't really get good at writing scripts probably till when I was in my late 20s, in my late 30s right now.
Okay.
I think just the experience of writing different scripts and also learning, the process and getting the feedback and, just being able to become a better screenwriter through all those experiences.
Well, I think that just goes to show a lot of times, like, just start writing anything and not being afraid to fail, because after enough, like, writing, you get to a point where you feel like proud of your work. Amazing. Do you see yourself hoping to bring this to life? I mean, it sounds expensive.
It is, and like filmmaking is very expensive, especially for something that's period. You got to worry about wardrobe, you got to worry about set pieces. There are stunts in this film. Like there's a scene where a guy gets a Molotov cocktail from him, he's on fire, and he has to jump out the window, so you got to have a pyro team. But this film is going to be a very expensive endeavor, and the key is to take my time and and do it right, not rush into it. And and I knew going in and writing this was going to be very expensive, and that it was going to be a long process to do it. So you just take it one day at a time.
I love that, because I know some people like will write a script specifically to like, let me keep it in one location, let me do it there. But you kind of, you had this idea and you're like, I feel like there's this story that needs to be told. I'll figure out the rest later. I'm going to put, so it's nice that if you didn't go that route, this story would have never even be published. It wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be talking about it. So I love that you just, you didn't let that like intimidate you or let it bury it and say like, no, I won't write about this. So I think it's really special that you did.
Yeah, and then one thing is I was very fortunate to have some of the best actors in the DMV, DC, Maryland, and Virginia area read the script during table reads, and they gave me great feedback.
I love that.
And I took that, and it really helped the script
Yeah.
to where I wanted
Yeah,
it to be.
that's
And
invaluable.
it just when you know the right people and you know the most talented people, it makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us in Yucca Valley, for sitting down with us, and at the Script Writers Roundtable. You guys really shared like some really great insights. I really appreciate it, Richard. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right, guys, that was Richard Brown. We were talking about his script, Arsenal of Doom. He was also part of the Script Writers Roundtable, so they shared so much little goodies. So they're about to start the experimental and dance films. There's Matt, said right now. So I will be back after. I will be back at 5 o'clock to interview some really great filmmakers. I have Jessica Rookward. She had an amazing film last night. It's called Savage Dawn, and I'm so excited to sit down and talk to her. She did a Q&A after, but I still have so many questions. Steven Morana, he was an actor in one of the films as well. Romel Rojas, he had a script, Naughty Maids. Jackie Havorka, she has a script, Dear Cancer. And then we're going to go into the harp concert. So I'm tuning off because I'm going to go tune in to the experimental and dance films, and I will be back at 5 o'clock. So I will see you all there.